a jeep, a drone, and an old man.
Hey, welcome everybody. We're here for Volume 5 of Battleship Texas Photo Archaeology. To those that are new here today, this is the process that we're taking. We are taking old photographs that were taken aboard the Battleship Texas of crew or events or things going on the Texas. We're breaking them down into fine details, enlarging the photograph, see if we can find anything in the photograph that looks like it's out of place or wonder what it might be. And we're trying to figure out in totality what the photograph may be about. Now, the links to the photographs will be down in the description. The link to this photograph was down in the description of Volume 4. Volume 6 will have a link to the next photograph in it. In the description of this video, you will find a link to this photograph and Volume 6 photograph. That gives you a chance to follow the link to the next video and take a look at it yourself. See what you can find in the video. And when I put up my video, you can watch and compare. See if I missed something. See if I find something that you missed. And then drop me a comment if I missed something. Now let's dig into this photograph and see what we've got. This photograph was entitled German and Italian Prisoners Aboard USS Texas. And it was simply dated 1944. So I'm going to assume it was around June or July during the D-Day invasion, but it doesn't actually say that in the description of the photograph. But let's enlarge it and take a look at what we've got here. Let's go a little bit bigger. This one gets digitized fairly quickly if you go too big on it. So yeah, it's a little digitized right there. But let's take a look around, see what we can find. Now I have no idea what this pipe is here. It looks like it has a filter sock on it. Anybody have any idea what that might be? It looks like a filter sock for liquid coming out of the pipe, but usually that goes into a container of some type, a tank or whatever, and it's filtering the liquid going into the tank. So why this one is just dumping out on the deck, I'm not sure. Anybody that knows what that might be about, let us know. This little object right here, what in the world is that? I'm going to enlarge that, but I'm afraid it's going to digitize pretty bad to where we can't really tell anything at all about it. Let's just go to 300. Try a little bit bigger. It's pretty digitized right there, but let's see. All right, we're going to max it out. No idea what that is. Any of you guys have any ideas? That's really impossible to tell what that is. Let's shrink it back down to 300. There's nothing around it that might give us an indication of something it fell off of, unless this is a shadow here to this sock. So the sock actually stops right about there. It could be some sort of pin that was pulled out of a valve or something here, but why would it have just been left on the deck? I don't know. Any ideas on that? Y'all let me know what you think that thing might be. Now you'll remember that one photograph where we saw the Navy offloading shells onto the Texas. And there were a couple barefoot guys there, right? Well, here we've got prisoners of war, and they all seem to have shoes. No barefoot guys. As a matter of fact, this guy looks like he might have some spikes on the bottom of his shoes, so those shoes are not very well worn, if that's right. But let's stay in order here and get back down where we're supposed to be. Now, this photo is fairly damaged. You'll see a lot of spots taken out of it, and that's throughout the entire photograph. I hate to see that, and that can be retouched. But when you run into an object that's a little messed up, you don't really know how to retouch that. So I like to leave the photographs unretouched. Now this is this gentleman's hand. It looks like he's, oh, that could be photo damage too. Let's zoom out a little bit, see if that'll give us any more information. That's his arm. I think that's I think that's his hand, but I think that's scratches on the photographs. I don't think that's his hand. It looks like it would be a skeleton if that were his hand. It's too small. Now each one of these guys, this guy appears to be looking at the camera. Anybody that knows German insignia, tell us what rank these two guys are, if there's enough there to tell. Of course, at this point in the war, they could be wearing anybody's hat and anybody's jacket. This guy, I believe, is Italian. I looked up the Italian uniform. Here's a picture of it. Photograph I found online of Italian Army uniforms. Now, of course, there were a lot of live photographs. This one's obviously a drawing, but there were a lot of live photographs. I could not find any in this particular hat. This is the only thing I could find when looking at the Italian Army with this hat, like some of the prisoners aboard the Texas are wearing. I did find these other three hats. I didn't find that one with the skull and crossbone. I didn't find that in a live photograph either. But I did find these two in a live photograph. But this one right here, I believe, is the one that all the prisoners, or a lot of the prisoners, are wearing aboard the Texas. And that is what makes me name them as Italian soldiers. So looking at that, I think that these guys, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, I think most of these guys are Italian. This guy, I think most of these guys are Italian prisoners. He's obviously German. You can't, there's a fella behind him. You can see his shoulder and arm right here, but you can't see his head, so you can't tell what army he's from. He's obviously German. The gentleman back here is German. This gentleman with the glasses, no hat, can't tell what he is. And let's see. We've got probably a wounded soldier right here, I'm assuming. Nobody's tending to him, and I'm assuming that's why he's on the ground as well. He's probably wounded and has been given permission to get down on the ground. Now, he's obviously talking to this other guy right here, and let's see what army he's from. That hand goes up to, you can't tell. This guy, then this arm, I think, goes to this guy. And this arm coming down, well, he's got a German coat on. So I'm assuming he's talking to a German soldier. But he's Italian from the cap. So I'm gonna, looks to me like maybe this Italian soldier has a German cap or German jacket on. I don't know. Anybody there able to break down that little confusion right there any better? Maybe the body that this arm goes to is not wearing this coat, but it looks like it is. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Let me know. I kind of think that he's talking to this guy right here in this cap. It looks like that's where the arm goes to, but y'all let me know what y'all think. So that's the edge of the photograph there. Now here we come up to a soldier, American soldier. Can't see any rank on him. His weapon is a little strange to me. It looks like an N1 carbine, but it also looks like it's got a groove cut in the forestock there, which would fit more, and the muzzle seems to fit more a 45 caliber machine gun, like the old Tommy gun. He just doesn't have but the assembly here, where the round barrel magazine would attach, doesn't look right for a Tommy gun. He's got his finger on the trigger, but I don't know. To me, the front part of that gun looks like a Tommy gun. The back part of it looks like an M1 carbine. So I don't know what that is. Any of you other gun guys out there, take a look at that. Tell me what y'all think that is. Now this guy here, he's well dressed. Right here, it looks like we've got a sergeant or corporal. Let's get in on that and see if we can see better how many stripes he's got there. I've seen a lot of sergeant stripes and corporal stripes in my day. And those are fairly tight together. I'm going to call that a corporal. I may be wrong. That may be a sergeant, but I'm going to call it a corporal. Anyway, whatever rank it is, whatever rank he is, he appears to be the man in charge. Don't see any other GIs with weapons. Of course, we are aboard the Battleship Texas. There's not a lot of these prisoners here. Let's count them. Let's count prisoners, see how many we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3. Let's count feet. Looks like it's easier to count feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like we got 13. Wow, that's an odd number. 13 prisoners aboard the Battleship Texas. And I would suspect all you need is one soldier with a weapon to guard them. They're not going anywhere. If they start a ruckus, they are certainly not going anywhere. That's the top of the photo. It's the upper left corner of the photo. Nothing really to see there. This soldier, looks like there's quite a few of them wearing life jackets. So yeah, I think D-Day is going on right now in this photograph. Looks like almost all of them are wearing life jackets, except the prisoners and a few of the other soldiers. Now, I did see on one of these prisoners what looks like a ring, but I think after looking at it more closely, what we've got there is just a bad spot in the photograph. You folks tell me what y'all think. Is that a ring or a bad spot in the photograph? It kind of looks like a ring because it's not bright like all these other bad spots are, but it's not entirely around the finger either. So to me, it's a bad spot in the photograph. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think it is? This guy also, right here, looks like he might have a ring, but that too, when you get bigger, looks like that's definitely a bad spot in the photograph. So that's about all I see in this photograph. Anything I may have missed, y'all let me know. Just like the last photograph we did, this has got so many people in it that when you get back in the background like this, you can't really zoom in on them. This guy's got something in his hand, obviously. But what is the question? You can't tell what that is. Also looks like he might have a hood on. Is he from maybe a gun turret crew? I don't know. Put that in the comments as well, fellas. Let me know what y'all think. Is he wearing a hood? It sure looks like he's wearing a hood. Could be a helmet, but it looks like it connects to the looks like he's wearing a jacket that connects with a hood to me. So I would suspect, if that's the case, that he's from a gun crew. Let me know what y'all think. So the entirety of this photograph is obviously exactly what the label on the photograph was: Italian and German prisoners. Now, it did not date the photograph, but I'm going to say it's somewhere in June, late June to mid-July 1944 during D-Day operations. What do you guys think? When do you guys think? Now, don't forget to look down in the description for the link to this photograph if you want to download it and try to do some editing on it, improve it some, help us find out what this little object is right here. And the link in the description to next week's photograph, Volume 6 photograph. Here we are with next week's Volume 6 photograph. This one kind of looks fun. Fellas are peeling spuds, getting ready for chow. Looks like a fun photograph to go through. So follow the link that's in the description. Find the photograph, take a look at it, see what you can find in the photograph. Now this is labeled, the photograph is labeled as being aboard BB-35. It looks a little bit older than that to me, like it may have been the original Battleship Texas, especially if that's a round window back there. But anyway, it's labeled as BB-35, so we're going to look at it as BB-35. Anybody that might be able to look at it and tell me otherwise, I'd certainly appreciate that information. But for right now, we're calling it BB-35 because that's how it's labeled. So that's going to be next week's photograph. Be sure to download it ahead of time, take a look at it, and let's compare our notes when I upload my video. I appreciate everybody coming along this time. It's been a Jeep, a drone, and an old man. Got a Battleship Texas update coming up soon. Watch for that. We'll be seeing you next time.